Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and it is time for plant favorites. These are some plants that I just couldn't stop touching and looking at all month. I have a few plants to mention, as well as a planty item, and then some other planty stuff. It's a whole planty video. Anyway, the sun is also setting, so I feel like by the end of this video, I'm gonna have sun rays all over my face. I know the lighting is kind of funny, but it's fine. So the first plant I loved this month, and I know what you're thinking, what the heck is that? Why are you showing that as one of your favorites? But this is just some little fern. I have it in this little planter that I got from Target. I feel like everybody bought these planters. This one says, give yourself time to grow. They had this in their little dollar section when you first walk in, and I bought all of them. They're so cute. Anyway, this little fern came into my life because I bought a planter that was on clearance that had a plant arrangement in it, and I wanted the planter, and it was $5, and I thought, holy crap, what a good deal for a really nice planter. But it had a lot of dead plants in it, so I took all the plants out, but this little fern was still hanging on, and I felt so bad throwing it away, so I thought, well, let's just give him a chance. And this little guy is thriving away. I just love it. And I know he looks kind of scraggly and stuff, but the condition that it was in when I first got it, it's doing really well now. And this long piece here has been growing so much where I have it sitting in the kitchen, on this little plant stand in the corner. This little one sticks out, and I walk by all the time and just touch it. And I don't know, I don't really know how to take care of ferns at all, so I can't believe that this one is alive still. The only thing I have noticed with ferns is that they do not like to be dried out. The second, if I let this dry out for an hour or too long, it'll immediately start getting crispy. So I watered this yesterday, and when I went to look at it, this little piece down here had gotten a little crispy. But so far, ferns for me have been super easy. Just make sure they don't get dried out. And this little fern is what gave me the confidence to go buy some other ferns that I had been wanting for a long time. But I always just kind of heard that ferns are really difficult. They needed a lot of humidity. They were just kind of finicky. I kind of feel like people talk about this the same way they talk about calathea. And I have found calatheas to be so easy. I have no idea why they're so easy for me, but I don't know. They're just kind of easy for me. Anyway, I went ahead and bought a couple other ferns because of this little guy. I'll insert some little pictures here of the ones I bought. I bought a rabbit's foot fern, a little one from Costa Farms that's one of their exotic angels. It's so cute. And then some other one that I'm not even sure if it's a fern, but I could not say no to it. It's so beautiful. But so far, what I found with ferns, don't let them dry out and they'll be happy. So yeah, I love this little guy because of just the confidence he gave me to go buying some other ferns. But yeah, really like him a lot. Had to give him a shout out. The other plant that I cannot stop with is this. This is a Monstera Adamsoniai, and look at this big old vine it grew. So I actually found this at the grocery store sometime last year. It was in a hanging basket. It wasn't nearly this big. But I had already had an Anansonii that was one puny little vine that was so ugly. It was never doing good. It was always dying, always yellow leaves. Anytime a leaf would grow in, it'd be this big, and it would be brown. It immediately would just die. And I thought, well, maybe this plant is trickier than I thought. But when I saw it at the grocery store in that basket, I had to have it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just try it again. And this is that plant now. I know you didn't know what he looked like before, but I went ahead and planted that puny little vine in here. And now I couldn't even tell you which one it is because it's just engulfed in the other plant, and it's doing so well. This plant needed to be repotted so badly. I have it in a hanging basket. I'll insert a little picture of where it's at. Not a hanging basket. It's in a macrame hanger against the wall. It's in one of those hangers that's flat against the wall, not one that goes all the way around the pot, if you know what I mean. And I have this one there, and it needed to be repotted so badly. There was pretty much no soil in the pot. I had to water it all the time. And every time I would look at it, I'm like, why don't I repot that thing? Finally did it, and it loved it. It loved it so much. I did redo the soil. I put fertilizer in it and everything, and it exploded with new growth. It also grew these vines, just out of nowhere. And I love it so much. So the care for this one for me is pretty easy. I just let it dry out and I water it, and that's kind of it. And I leave it dry though. I don't water it the second it's dry. I saw a tip somewhere on Instagram where a guy said that he gets the leaf and pulls it down, and if it doesn't snap right back up, then it needs water. Ever since I implemented that little tip, this plant has been so happy. What else? Oh, the pot. So terracotta is so weird. It does absorb a lot of stuff from your water. So depending on what kind of water you're using, your soil, all kinds of stuff could play a part in why the terracotta absorbs stuff. I have some terracotta that looks perfectly clean, like it's never been wet in its life. I have some that gets actually slimy on the outside that I constantly have to wipe down. And then some look beautiful like this. I mean, for the most part, they look beautiful. But this one, for some reason, just is turning white. And a lot of the other terracotta I have gets like brown or like swirls on it, but usually it's like brown. But this one, I don't know why it's absorbing white, but I think it looks so cool. And I just love this plant so much. It's definitely one of my favorites. I can't believe how big it's getting. And I am just gonna let it trail down. I'm not gonna like make it go up. I kind of just want it to do its own thing. And I love it. He's so beautiful. The next plant I have to shout out is my neon pothos. So I have two of these, and I mentioned in another video, in the video I did called ranking all of my pothos, I put it up a few months ago. This actually wasn't one of my favorites. I just didn't like it for some reason. I did really regret buying two of them. And let me move this a little bit. I feel like I'm, okay. That's better. Why was I sitting the other way the whole time? Anyway, I actually really regretted buying two of them. I don't know why, I just didn't love the color of these leaves. I just couldn't get on board with the like lime green color. I also do not like this pot with this color of leaf. It just drives me nuts that I put it in this pot. But I absolutely love this plant now. I love it so much. It has grown a lot. Like all these vines here are new. It's completely filled out the top of the pot. And this poor thing, last summer, I took it outside to water it because it was a big plant. Took it outside, sprayed it down, and then I left it there all day. I left it there all night, and then the rest of the whole next day till I got home from work, and it completely scorched. Like, he was so sunburned. I was only able to save about maybe a third of the plant, and it looked so bad, but it has filled out so beautifully. I have this sitting right there on that shelf, and every day I just see it, and I just kind of like fluff it. I just think it's gorgeous now, absolutely gorgeous. I do want to change it out of this pot though. I still don't like this color of maroon with the green, but I love the plant now, absolutely gorgeous. Super easy care. Pothos, you know, is really easy. I just let this one dry out and then I water it. It's just happy with life. I do have it in this room with a west facing window. It gets a lot of direct sun through the window in the afternoon, and it seems to be totally fine with that care and that kind of sunlight situation. But yeah, I have to shout out this plant because I love him now, and I used to hate it, and now he's one of my favorites. Okay, this is the last plant I have to talk about. I know what you're thinking. What is that? What is that crispy boy? So this is my Philodendron McDowell. I know he doesn't look that good, but I ordered this online. I think it was last year, or was it earlier this year? It was in the winter time, I know that. It arrived with like 4 or 5 leaves on it, one giant leaf, but unfortunately that leaf was cracked in shipping, so I cut it off. The other leaves that were on it quickly had this black spot take over the entire leaf, so I cut those ones off. And then this one had the spot on it as well, but it kind of stopped, like it didn't take over the whole leaf, but it stayed super crispy like this. And then I felt so bad because I thought, oh my god, I bought this plant, there's no returns on it, it's not the cheapest plant in the world. And I thought, I'm just gonna put it in moss and we'll just see what happens. And look what is happening. I just have to show you. This is growing a new leaf. I couldn't believe it. I just saw it the other day and I was like, wow, I'm so glad I saved this leaf. But I felt like it would be okay because the stem feels really, really nice. It had really good roots, and I noticed the leaf would like shift wherever the sun was. That's why it kind of grows kind of crazy. I put it in the front window, in the north facing window. It loves it up there, and immediately started growing a new leaf. So I just had to shout out this plant, you know, right when I was gonna give up on you. I wasn't gonna give up on it. I was gonna keep it till the leaf fell off, But once I put it in the moss, all the black spot kind of stopped spreading, and then it just turned brown and crispy. So I don't know. I know it doesn't look that good, and most of the time I would just get rid of the plant, but it wasn't that cheap, and I'm really glad I held on to it. So I just had to show you. I just had to show you this plant that I didn't give up on. The last thing I have to talk about is something kind of normal, but it's a watering can. So I cannot believe I never had a watering can. I used to just water with a cup of water, like a cup, and just pour it over the plants. And I don't know, that's just how I always watered. And then one day I was over at Target and I saw this. Look how cute this is. It's just this little ceramic watering can. I'm sure it's just supposed to be decorative, but you can use it. Like, it doesn't have a hole in it or anything. But it's not practical. Like, this is just for decorative purposes. I mean, look how high the spout is up here. So I started using this thing that holds like a cup of water, and I was refilling it like 20 times a day. And I would fill it up and I would go, okay, I gotta fill it up again. And I kept using it, I don't know why. And then my boyfriend bought me this, I think from Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's the best thing in the world. The spout needs to be down here. That way you could fill it as much as you want with water and barely tip it like this, and the water will right away come out. This one, I had to like pour like this, and sometimes it would just come right out of the top because of how high the spout is. And I love it. I just had to shout this out because I can't believe I went my whole plant life without having a watering can, and I only had this for a couple of months too, and I love it so much. It holds a ton of water, it gets the job done, and I just have a nice functioning watering can, and I'm proud of myself now. And then the last planty thing I have to mention is my outdoor garden. I did put up a video a few days ago, just giving a little tour of my front yard and my garden that I planted. I have become hooked on outdoor gardening. It's just like a whole new experience, all new plants to learn and learn the care needs for. Outdoor plants are so different than indoor plants, and I keep like having to tell myself like it's an outdoor plant. It wants the direct sunlight. It wants constantly to be watered. So it's a whole different thing to learn, and I guess that leads into my channel update. I just wanted to let you know, I think I am going to incorporate a few gardening videos here and there. I really want to get more comfortable filming outside, possibly in front of my neighbors, and I'm only going to get that experience if I actually do it. So here and there, as I kind of see a project or want to give you a tour of something again, like an updated tour after everything grows in the front yard, I might film it, we'll see how it comes out, and then I'll put it up. So just a heads up, there's going to be gardening videos here and there as I get comfortable, but of course it is primarily going to be houseplants because that is my first love. But just a heads up, you can skip those if you don't want to watch them. They'll just be kind of, you know, sprinkled in here and there throughout the year. But that is that. Those are the plants I loved this month, as well as my watering can. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know some plants you loved this month, or your favorite little planty items that you loved. I would love to know. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And I'll see you later in another planty video. Goodbye.